Hello, my little artists. Okay, so we are going to talk about how to draw a cylinder. And at first I was going to have the lower grades do a cup with your favorite juice in it. But then I decided that might be taking too many steps at once. So we're going to start with little steps, little baby steps. Okay, so I'm going to bring this closer and don't tell anyone. You saw nothing. Okay, so I'm going to bring this closer, hopefully, and I'm going to show you how to draw a cylinder. Okay, and then we're going to color it. So, I like to use a pencil with an eraser. Okay, I'm going to do it in pencil, and then I'll go back through with marker so you guys can see it better. Alright, if you want to use like a dark outlining, you can. But I would probably do the outline at the end after we color. Okay, so with a cylinder, you can do like a tall rectangle or a short rectangle. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw a rectangle. So if you want, you can use a ruler. You don't have to. I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a rectangle shape. Okay, so I have my rectangle. Now, what's going to happen is instead of having it be more like the cube or rectangular prism where we have the flat sides on the top and the sides and the back and the bottom, this one is actually curved, right? It has a round circle shape, right? So on the side, it looks kind of like a rectangle, but it actually has a circle on the top and the bottom. So it is rounded. Right, so to make it look more rounded, on the bottom we're going to add in a curve that goes down. I'm going to go in and do a curve that goes down. But we're going to have an extra line here. So we're going to get rid of that and erase it. Okay, curve on the bottom. Now for the top, there's going to be a curve up there too, right? So if I have something like a cup, solid on the bottom, but you can put your hand in it, right? Where it sits on a surface, you can see it's not straight across, it has that curve. And then at the top, it curves down in the front so we can see the opening and curves back, like up in the back, to see the rest of that circle opening. But it doesn't look like a circle. It looks like a flattened oval, like somebody kind of stepped on it. Or, even if you can't put your hand in it, if you have one like this, right, my impossible to wash measuring cup, you can see it's round on the bottom, still rounded on the top, even though I can't put my hand in there. But if I lift it up like this, I can. It's a weird measuring cup. Okay, so either way, we're going to want to do this top part where we can see the top of our shape of our cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the bottom. So I have that bottom curve. We're going to do a curve that goes down at the top, like the one at the bottom. But right now it looks like it's curved in the front and straight on the back. And we want it to be curved on both sides because it's a circle, not a half circle. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a little curve that goes up. It doesn't have to be super big. And then we're going to erase our straight line. Okay, so now we have a cylinder shape, right? So it's curved, straight on the sides. Now when we're doing this, we're going to want to have it be sitting on some kind of surface, like a desk or a table or the ground. So like with our cube, we're going to do a line going across. But remember that if I do my line right at the bottom here, then the back part of my shape's just going to be like tilted and floating in the air. So we want our line to come up back here so that it looks like it's on the ground instead of just like hanging off the edge of a cliff. So I'm going to have a line that goes across back here and back here. Okay, so I'm going to go in and outline this with a marker so you guys can see better. So I'm going to pause real fast and I'll come back and we'll talk about coloring. Okay, so I've outlined my cylinder so you guys can see better what I did. Right, we took it from a rectangle to a cylinder by doing our curves. So bottom curve, and unless this is see-through, we don't really see the back curve on the bottom, right? Something like this cup, you see the back curve and the front curve, and same with this because it is a glass. It's made out of glass so we can see through it, right? But ours, we're just going to do solid. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we are going to color. Now when you look at a cylinder shape, like, where did it go? I guess I'll go back to this one. Like this one. No, hold on. Let's do one that's not see-through. Like this one. Okay. So it's kind of hard to tell, but on the sides, it's a little bit darker, and in the middle, it's lighter, right? And this one has like a really big light in the middle because the light that I have is like so close by. So we could also, let's see, let's take a look at this one. It's not super see-through. There we go. That's better. So this one has that light that shines right down the middle. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to color the sides and we're going to leave a white line that goes down the middle. Okay, so you can use crayons or colored pencils or oil pastels. I'm going to use some oil pastels. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to color in the sides. And you could even, if you want, you can just draw a line that goes down the middle. Right, 2 lines, because that would be our white line going down the middle. Then we're going to color it in. Color, color, color. Color, color, color. Oops. I broke my oil pastel. That happens sometimes. Okay. I want to try and get rid of as much of that white as I can. Right, something that's kind of cool about using oil pastels is that if you have a whole bunch of white, if you just gently rub it, you don't want to go like back and forth like this, but just little tiny rubs, like you're trying to pet something really small, like a little mouse. You're trying to get little scratches in, or not, you don't want to use your nails, but little pets in on their tiny little heads. Just very gentle. You can rub it in. Okay. We're going to want to color in the other side. We're going to leave the top for now because we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay. So I'm going to go in, color the other side of my cylinder, but I'm not going to color that middle part, that white part. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so again, I have some white. It's hard to get all the white to be gone. So I'm going to rub mine in. It gets kind of messy though, so you might need like a paper towel or something, or to wash your hands after. Okay, so I have my cylinder with my line going down the middle, if you can see that. Now, if you had a cylinder shape that's more of a cup, where it's open, then that light that goes down would be on the back too. You guys see that kind of? And I'll do my shadow box and we can take a look at it. So it'd be the same kind of shading over here. Or if we had something like this, sorry, teaching from home with pets. Rue, out. My dog is being a very naughty girl right now and trying to get into the garbage. Okay, sorry. So if we had one like this where it wasn't open in the top, it would just be flat at the top, right? It's a circle, but it's a flat circle. So we wouldn't add in that highlight on this part because it just goes flat. So that's how we're going to do it today. All right, so you can choose the same color to show that it's a different side of my shape. I like to do a different color. So you could pick a totally different color, like if you did blue, you could do like pink, but I like to have them be kind of similar. So I'm going, I'm going to do like a light blue since I did a dark blue, or you could do something like black, okay, or you could do something like white or gray. She's being very naughty. I'm going to pause and I'm going to put her outside and I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. Okay, so sorry, that darn dog. So much trouble. She just wanted to play so bad. Okay, so I like to use a different like color that kind of matches so that it goes in the same, so that they're related, right? Like brothers and sisters related. So I'm going to color the top part just one solid color. I'm not going to leave any white for the highlight, which is where the light is shining on it. Okay, just like that. An extra thing you could do if you're using a lighter color is you could even do like a little bit of the lighter right before that white, so that it looks like it's getting even lighter. You don't have to, but that's an extra fun thing you can try. And the nice thing too about using oil pastels is if you end up losing some of your white in there, right? Like if I accidentally lost some of that, I'm gonna make it go away there. You can take an eraser and help bring some of that back. As long as it's thin. If it's really thick, you can't really do it very well. Okay. So now we have a cylinder, and with the highlight, it looks more rounded. It's curved. Now, for the rest of it, we're going to color in, right? Just like how we talked about with our cube. I like to color the ground. An optional thing to try would be to give it a shadow. Right, so maybe I want to say my cylinder is on a wooden desk, or it could be on dirt or something. But I like to pretend the light's back here, and my shadow is going somewhere down in front. And you can have it go like sideways, or down straight, right, or the other way. But I am going to make sure, because my cylinder is kind of tall, it's just easier to just kind of take it off the page, right? So I'm going to go in and do 2 lines from the sides and just take it off the page. Now I have a dark brown, so I'm going to do this a darker brown, and then I'm going to do a lighter brown around it. Or you could always, color your ground and then do something like black there. Or if you're using crayons or colored pencils, you could press down really soft around it, just soft, so it looks light, and then dark or like press down hard, make it darker for the shadow. You can even do that with a pencil that you write with. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, got my shadow, and I'm gonna pick another brown, and I'm gonna color around it with my lighter brown. I'm gonna color this real quick so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me do it. And today is just not my day, is it? It just does not want to cooperate. My goodness. Okay. I'm going to color this and come back and we'll talk about the background, and that will be our project for this week, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so here I have my cylinder colored. I colored in the ground, did the darker brown for the shadow, or you can press down harder. And then I did something in the background. I just did lines so I didn't have to color the whole thing. But something so we can tell our like wall apart from our ground. So the only other thing to do at the end would be to outline. Right, I like to outline in black. And I already kind of did because I ended up using that marker to show you guys so you could see better. But even if I went in now and outlined with black, my cylinder and the ground, you don't need to outline your shadow. Okay, you can see that it really helps to bring it out a bit better. Okay, so feel free to check out my video. We'll look at cylinders in the light box or in the shadow box. And you don't have to look at it, but it's just for fun. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.